Guys, I'm going to try and cut the crap and skip on to the commentary. This little kid just does a Nickelodeon rant. This video was uploaded last month. Wow. And I thought this Nickelodeon rant topic had died out in 2007. For all we know, this could be a good rant, so let's check it out.
Okay guys, I'm back with another rant video. Now, this is going to be about a channel that survived so many decades of pain. Well, not pain, but right now it's getting that right now because...
Let me guess. This kid is probably thinking, "Ooh, I wish I was born in the 90s. Everything modern's terrible. All of these nostalgia-tard ranters on YouTube is right. Even though I wasn't born in the 90s, everything in the 90s was awesome, and everything nowadays is evil." Seriously, I used to be a kid like that, thinking everything in the 90s was awesome and everything nowadays sucked. Fortunately for me, I grew a set of balls and I realized, not every decade was perfect. Get over it and just live your life the way it is.
I think this channel's been on since the 1940s, so that kind of doesn't seem real, but...
It doesn't seem real because the channel's been around since the 70s. Scripting! Use it!
It is. You can search it on the internet. Well, the internet may not be your everyday source.
Kid, open your eyes. I think for nearly everybody in the world right now, computers is the everyday source. I mean, if anyone wanted to look up any type of information whatsoever, most people I know anyway would go to the internet.
But still, there's proof. Well, what can I say about this stupid channel? This channel is ruined. Like, it used to have good channel or shows like Captain Mikey, 3 Delivery. There's nothing else.
Gee, I thought you were gonna mention shows like Hey Arnold, Ren and Stimpy, and The Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, and all those shows from the 90s. But those two shows you mentioned, I've never heard of them, and they sound pretty sucky. And the fact that you said that's it, you mean Nickelodeon only had 2 good shows running?
Well, there was another show, I forgot the name.
If you're not going to use a script, at least think of what you're going to say before you make a video.
But you get the point. There's all that they have now is Sam and Cat, and iCarly's gone, but Victorious and reruns of that stupid crap.
Well, I agree with them on there. Victorious is a very shitty show, and seriously, I'm tired of seeing reruns of the same episodes of it.
That is retardedly retarded. And...
retardedly retarded? What is it with these people trying to add new words to the English language?
The reason for this is because the CEOs think it's funny. It's like I even saw a video of like Carly being like, oh, say it again. And Dan Schneider is like, well, yeah, I like that, all of that and stuff.
So you like the behind the scenes footage, but you don't like the shows themselves? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're doing the 90s Nick thing, but as I was saying, I saw a video where Dan Schneider was like, do it again, and then Carly was like, well, I know what you're doing with my boyfriend, and then they all freaking laughed.
There, I thought you hopped on to a different subject there, but then you just jumped back to the whole behind the scenes thing again.
Like, oh my god, that's a laugh Stark. It's not funny, really.
If you didn't find it funny, then why did early on in the video you said you liked it?
But you get the point, they have no humor.
No, really, I don't get the point since you've been very unclear to what happened in the video you saw.
They have no funny bone. But they also have Team Nick, which is basically just Victorious and freaking Sam and Cat, and then Nick, which is same thing. And then, well, on Team Nick they have Degrassi, but that's stupid now, so... And, yeah, George Lopez isn't on there anymore, so... But I took a sneak peek at Nick Jr. I barely see the channel on. It's like it just hides out in caves.
Alright, I'm gonna go a little nice on you here and say that you're 10 years old. But really, you're 10 years old and you're ranting about Nick Jr. Nick Jr.'s a program for toddlers. Why should you care what happens on Nick Jr.? Really? Why do people rant on Nick Jr.? They shouldn't even be watching it at their age, because it's for frickin' toddlers.
half the time, but Nick Jr. is usually replacing Nick, and then I just took a sneak and I was like, oh god, why? They had Dora. Dora's good for babies, but Diego is good. It's good for babies, but they had Bubble Guppies, that retarded show with fish. That makes me angry. Well, I don't know what to say about that show because that show is just completely ignorant.
I'm just gonna pretend that you're not ranting on a show for toddlers and just take it seriously. You're just saying the show sucks and I can't explain why it sucks? Really? You're like Ben the Looney and his old Cartoon Network rants.
It's teaching your sons to go drown in the water.
Okay, number one, it's teaching your sons? Sons? Really? Don't you mean kids? And two, how is it teaching your children to go drown in the water? Just because the show's about fish doesn't mean it's teaching children to go out and drown themselves. Really, kids aren't that freaking retarded, you know. So I guess finding Nemo's bad because it's teaching your children how to drown in the water. Seriously, kid, do you have a brain at all?
Your your kids to go in the water and just grow some fins. Like, oh my god, I bet somebody died from that. Like some kid. Oh my god, if they can do it, I can do it.
What is it with these people and treating toddlers like they're brain dead morons? Toddlers aren't that retarded.
Drowns. That probably happened once. So it's teaching your sons to. It's not learning education really. What do I have to say about Nick? Nothing. It's the most retarded channel.
If you had nothing to say about Nickloadeon, then why the hell did you make an entire 8-minute video about them?
It's the most main channels. The two main channels on the entire television is Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
The two main children's channels, then yes, but they're not the main channels on TV.
Those are the only two channels that are the most main channels. But that is strange that people actually laugh at that. I mean,
this has been bugging me throughout the entire video. Why are you just showing random pictures? I mean, you're putting up pictures of Dora the Explorer, and you're not even ranting about Dora the Explorer.
Now that iCarly's gone, I guess we can celebrate a little bit, but now another show is back, and they decided to haunt this again, and all those sitcoms you see on the show. Every single sitcom you see, every single one, is from Dan Schneider. Every single one on Nick is from Dan Schneider. I mean, you just gotta ruin sitcoms. Like Scooby-Doo was a good sitcom. It actually was a sitcom.
There's a difference between a live-action movie and a sitcom, and plus the Scooby-Doo live-action movie sucked balls.
But it was a sitcom. It was a sitcom. Had laughing in the background, I guess. But I saw the stupidest joke on Sam and Cat. I was just watching it. Well, there actually was one single joke that actually made me laugh or chuckle. When they say they need to pee, they say Waz, so they should say it way funnier. And then, so this little kid, I guess he dressed up as an old guy or something like that, to figure out, oh my god, the babysitting, oh my god. Well, he was like, oh, you can have this camera hat. It'll see whatever you do. It's like, what if I gotta take a Waz? They're like, we're gonna see it and hear that. And he's like, oh no. So that's the only joke that actually made me laugh.
You say that's the only joke in the entire show that made you laugh, even though you did a shit job at explaining the joke.
Because Waz is funny to say. Waz, Waz, Waz. Waz, Waz, Waz. But Sam and Cat is retarded. Well, I have to make a confession. I actually like watching those shows, but the jokes are ridiculous.
Okay, 1. You think the joke's funny because the word says Waz? Waz isn't a funny word at all. And 2, if you don't think the jokes are funny, then why the hell do you watch the shows?
It'd be way better if they didn't have laughing. There's only one show that Dan Schneider didn't put any laughing or the oh in it. That is Zoe 101. Yep, Zoe 101. Yeah, this is like Walt Disney's the worst channel of them all. So
I thought the title said Nickelodeon Rants, yet we're talking about Disney all of a sudden.
that one's the worst one of like the whole entire.
What the hell is up with the picture you're showing? Maybe it's because I have no idea what show it's from, but holy shit, is it weird.
Our television, but I'm not talking about that right now. We're talking about Nick. This retarded show, Sammy Cat, just brings me hate. And then they're doing like the names and hashtags, and I think the stupidest joke, or if you call it a joke, it's not a joke, was insane.
I'm gonna skip a bit of this video because all this kid does is blab about shows I've never even heard of.
There's nothing else to say. It's infested with Dan Schneider, Nick. Why they allow him to do this? Oh my god. Wait, isn't he the CEO?
Do you even know what CEO means?
Well, that makes sense. That makes so much sense. Wow. Okay, I think. Is he the CEO or not? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna end this video because this is getting retarded and I just can't believe these stupid Sam and Cat, Victorious. They're not doing iCarly reruns because it's so horrible. But that's all I have to say on that.
And that's the end of the video. What's my final verdict on this video? Well, this kid obviously got the rant idea from Pieguyrulz, and he obviously thinks everything from the 90s is awesome and everything nowadays is evil. What's up with these kids that believe that they were born in the 90s? Stop trying to act you were born in the 90s and just accept what decade you were born in and just enjoy it for what it is. Not every decade is perfect. Really. Like a fair if you enjoy, subscribe to Chris's Fanboy, and I'll see you whatever the hell I do next. Also, my top 10 best YouTube channel list will be coming out soon.